출애굽기 14장, Exodus chapter 14. Then the Lord said to Moses, tell the Israelites to turn back and camp near Pi Hahiroth, between Migdal and the sea. They are to encamp by the sea, directly opposed by Al-Zephon. Pharaoh will think the Israelites are wandering around the land in confusion, hammered by the desert. And I will harden the Pharaoh's heart, and he will pursue them, but I will gain glory for myself through Pharaoh and all my army. And the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord. So the Israelites with this. When the king of Egypt was told that the people has fled, Pharaoh and his officers changed their mind about them and said, what have we done? We have let the Israelites go and lose their service. So he had his chariots made ready to took his army with him, and he took 600 of the best chariots along with all the other chariots of Egypt, with the sacrifice offices over all them. The Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, so the pursue the Israelites who were marching out boldly. The Egyptians, all the Pharaoh's horses and the chariots, horsemen and the troops pursued the Israelites and overtook them as they are completely by the sea near Pi Hahiroth and opposite Baal-Zebon. As Pharaoh approached, the Israelites looked up, and there was the Egyptians marching after them. They were terrified and cried out of the Lord. They said to Moses, was it because there was no graves in Egypt that you brought us into the desert to die? What have you done to us by bringing us out of Egypt? Didn't we say to you in Egypt, leave us alone and let us serve the Egyptians? It would have been better for us to serve to Egyptians than to die in the desert. Moses answered to the people, do not be afraid, stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians, you say, today's you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you, and you need only to be still. Then the Lord said to Moses, why are you crying out of me? Tell me the Israelites to move on. Raise your staff and stretch out of your hand over the seas to divide the waters, so that the Israelites can go through the sea on dry ground. I will harden the heart of the Egyptians so that they will go in after them. And I will gain glory through the Pharaoh and all his army, through his chariot and his horsemen. The Egyptians will know that I am the Lord when I am glorious through the Pharaoh, the chariot, and the horsemen. The angels of God, God who had been traveling in front of the Israel, the armies withdraw and went behind them. Two pillars of clouds also move around in the front of the stood behind them. Coming between the armies of Egypt and Israel, throughout the night the clouds brought darkness to the one side and the light to the other side, so neither went near the others all night long. Then Moses stretched out his hand over the seas, and all the night the Lord drove the seas back with a strong east and wind and turned it into dry land. The waters were divided, and the Israelites went through the sea of the dry ground, when the wall of the water on the right and the left. The Egyptians pursued them, and all Pharaoh's horses and chariot horsemen followed them into the sea. During the last watch, the night, the Lord looked down the pillars of the fire and the cloud at the Egyptians' armies and threw it into the confusion. He made the wheels of the chariots come off so that they had difficulty driving. And the Egyptians said, "Let's get away from the Israelites. The Lord is fighting for them against the Egypt." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand over the seas, that the waters will flow back over the Egyptians and their chariot and the horsemen." Moses stretched out his hands over the sea, and the daybreak at the sea they went back to their place. Egyptians were fleeing toward it, and the Lord swept them into the sea. The water flowed back and covered the chariot and the horsemen, the entire army of Pharaoh that had followed the Israelites into the sea. No one of them survived. But the Israelites went through the seas on the dry ground, where the wall of the water and on the right and on the left. That day the Lord saved Israel from the hands of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians lying dead on the shore. And when the Israelites saw the great power the Lord displayed against the Egyptians, people feared the Lord and put the trust in him and in Moses, in his servant.